Hello, welcome to another video. In this video I want to talk about my review, the 100 to 400 Mark II lens that I reviewed. A lot of you guys have been extremely critical and criticised my review, saying basically there was something wrong with my test or there was a problem with the lens. Basically there was no issue with the test and there was no problem with the lens because I tested another version of the lens. The one I actually bought was one from Australia. It was a grey import, but I got another one from Sheffield. I only briefly tested it in the store, but the focus seemed to me to be the same, quite slow, and I didn't see a reason why that would be the case. Now obviously I was using the original 7D to test it, and I also used the 600D on the grey import one. So I used the 7D on both versions of the lens that I tested, and I will tell you the focus was slow. Now if some of you guys are using different cameras, you might experience different results to what I did. I've recently seen a video of someone testing the lens with the 1DX, and it's quite obvious to me the focusing is a lot quicker. Now it's very possible that the new circuitry in the 7D Mark II and the 1DX and possibly the 5D Mark III will result with better results than I had in my video. So I just want to put it out there that there is a possibility that because my equipment was a bit older, because obviously the Mark II lens had come out after those cameras were built obviously, that you may experience faster autofocus than what I experienced. It's very possible. Now I'm going to take a segment from someone else's video and put it at the end of this video so you can see that 1DX autofocus speed. I can't tell you anything about where it was taken and obviously the test they've done, but it's quite obvious from seeing that video that the autofocus is a lot quicker. Now what I would like to say is Dustin Abbott, who does various reviews on YouTube himself, did mention something about autofocus speed and power applied to the autofocus motor. What you may find is if you're using one of the DX bodies or one of the D bodies, maybe even one of the later D1 bodies, what you're finding is those systems deliver more power than the budget systems do. An example is the 600D, which is a basic budget camera. Also the 1200D is a basic budget camera, digital SLR. I think a lot of people might be interested in this video because they might be interested in the 100 to 400 Mark II lens but may only have a budget camera, and I believe the issue is around people using budget digital SLRs on these pro lenses, and it's very possible the power system in the actual camera isn't delivering enough power to drive the autofocus motor at full speed. If that's the case, it's quite obvious why the autofocus would be half the speed. It's a bit strange why Canon's done this, because I've not noticed any sort of autofocus speed slowdown on the 7D or the 600D with any of the 150 to 600 Tamron and Sigma lenses I actually tested. Now you can check that review if you wish to, where I tested the Tamron 150 to 600, the contemporary and the sport version of the 150 to 600. Have a look at that because that may interest you, and that might be a better way to go if you've got a budget camera and the 100 to 400 Mark II lens may not obviously be suitable for those budget cameras. So I just want to put it out there that there is a possibility that the 5D Mark III or the new version 4 that's coming out at some point, the 1DX and the 7D Mark II, not the 7D, may have superior autofocus speed on the 100 to 400 Mark II lens. I just want to make that absolutely clear. It was my intention to do the tests regarding my review, basically to make it plain to everyone and show how fast it was autofocusing. What I will say about the lens is I am gobsmacked by the optical performance of the lens. Even focusing slower than it should do on my camera, I did experience the fact that the quality of the optics were fantastic, and I'm going to do another video because what I want to do is I've got some photos from my 7D from the 100 to 400 Mark II lens. I'll do a separate video for that for you guys, but what I want to do is I want to crop in 200, maybe 400%, and I want to compare the 100 to 400 Mark II Canon lens versus the Sigma 150 to 600 contemporary lens, because as I've said in previous videos, I do believe that the 150 to 600 Sigma sport lens was quite similar in quality to the contemporary. So I think it might be a good idea if I test that lens versus the pictures I've got from the Canon, because I did send the Canon lens back because I thought there was something wrong with it, and it does appear there is a possibility that it could be the autofocus motor in the camera. Doesn't necessarily mean the cameras I had were faulty at all, doesn't mean that at all. It means if you've got an old 7D or a 600D, it doesn't mean that there might be a problem with your camera either. It's just they don't deliver enough power through the autofocus motor to drive it at full speed. Now, this has been confirmed from various sources I've read, and I've tried to do a bit of digging as much as I can. I did contact and reach out to Canon to ask them if they were prepared to loan me some equipment so I could verify whether this is the case or not. But unfortunately they were basically didn't want to help me out with that. So I just wanted to make it absolutely clear. I do apologise to anyone if they felt I misled them, because it wasn't in my intention to mislead anyone with that video. I just wanted to give you an honest review based on the equipment I have and the tests I were doing. The tests were valid. The tests were done in a controlled environment as well as in a real world environment. I did as much as I could to try and get these tests out there to you guys, but it does appear that you probably need a more expensive, or more to the point, a more modern camera to use the 100 to 400 Mark II lens. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.